Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen's Memories of Making Movies. Keep Calm and Be a Superstar Edition, Part 2. You may recognize me as that guy who appears in some of the Silver Spleen's commentary videos. Today is the second chapter of my guest appearance, talking about a small part I had in the Hong Kong film titled Keep Calm and Be a Superstar. In the last video I described the plot of the film and my part in it. Today I'll describe how I got the role in the first place. So, to be honest, I did not get the role because of my good looks, and I definitely get this role because of my acting skills. I'm not an actor by any stretch of the imagination, despite the awesomeness of my delivery right here today. I am, however, friends with the director of the film, Vincent Koch, who's one of the nicest guys in the Hong Kong film industry, and also super prolific. He's been in over 100 Hong Kong films in over 3 decades, and has written and directed dozens more. You probably recognize him as that bad guy in God of Cookery, and as a Stephen Chow fan personally from the 1990s, I totally knew Vincent and his work when I first met him about 10 years ago. And I was lucky enough to get to know him, and we've become friends since then. And to be honest, this is not the first Vincent Koch directed movie that I've been in. You may recognize me from All's Well That Ends Well 2009 if you didn't blink, because you would have missed this. Note to self, I should make a very rusty Memories of Making Movies All's Well That Ends Well 2009 edition too. A few months before they filmed this movie, I actually bumped into Vincent Koch at the Asian Film Awards, and he mentioned to me that he has an upcoming movie, that there's a role that I was a good match for, and he asked if I was interested in trying out for it. And I should note, I actually did have to audition for this movie. I had to go down to the production office and read through some lines on camera for the casting director. And then he shares that with the director and they decide if you're suitable for the role or not. I want to note, if you've never actually tried acting before, it's a lot harder than it looks. At least a lot harder than I thought it was. It's one thing to recite lines either from cue cards or from memory, but it's another thing to actually emote the correct way, at the correct time, on demand and out of context. So in that respect, acting is definitely a legitimate skill, and it's not as easy as it looks, at least not for me. So for better or for worse, I actually got the part. And the surprising thing is, my part is not tiny. I was kind of surprised. I thought, okay, I'll be there 1 or 2 days, maybe in the background for some stuff. But it turns out I actually had lines, and I had to shoot a total of 5 days over a 40-something day shoot. So I was literally there, 4 separate weeks as the film progressed. And not only was I there, but I actually had lines, and I was part of some critical scenes. So I was kind of surprised once I got the role and started doing it. I'm like, wow, I'm not just a background guy. And it turned out one of my days shooting was actually in Macau, so I had to go over there to film too. Once I got the part, they had the wardrobe prepare a costume for me. Luckily or unluckily, I had one outfit to wear for the entire movie. Unluckily, it was this Inspector Gadget meets 1940s newspaper reporter look. Yes, I had to wear a shirt and tie, tweed blazer, and a raincoat, and a hat for the entire movie. And oh, by the way, it was shot in May and June in Hong Kong, which means it's definitely not overcoat weather. But fortunately, it turned out only one of the days on set was actually an outside shoot, and it happened to be at night, and it happened to be on the coolest day in May in Macau, so it was actually pretty tolerable in all that getup. And then the other days were inside a soundstage, so at least they had air conditioning. I even got to wear a 1960s Nikon F film camera with a flash to wear all the time in all my scenes, because I'm some kind of retro hipster who's using 50-year-old cameras in 2017. But who am I to complain? For all my scenes, I was paired with another foreign actor who was playing my cameraman. He was following me around to film my visit to the movie set. Here's Tom, who was my cameraman for most of my scenes. For my first day shooting in Macau, we took the ferry over in the early evening, shot all night, and then came back on the 6 a.m. ferry. Very tiring. In this scene, we were visiting Eason Chan's character on the set of his new film where he's about to do a big stunt. Which was to swing from the top of the Parisian Macau casino's Eiffel Tower on a zip line. So the first day's shoot was all done near the base of the tower on top of the casino's patio. One of the cool things is that since this is a movie about a movie star shooting a movie, a large portion of the scenes take place in a film set. So that means they could just use the actual filmmaking equipment as part of the set pieces. The real film crew just put on t-shirts with the fictitious film's logo on it, and sometimes walked in front of the camera as extras instead of just standing behind the camera like they would on a normal movie. And if you think about it, it's actually a great way to save money on extras and set designers, because the crew's there already. One other bonus is the fact that this way, almost all of the crew gets to be on camera at least once or twice throughout the movie. Which is great because normally these guys never get any recognition for all of their hard work. In one of the scenes I was in, they did a really cool tracking shot where two cameras were rotating around a circular track, filming the actors at the center as they had an argument. Normally for a scene like this, you need to try really hard to hide all the filming equipment, lights, and crew from both of the cameras as they rotated around 360 degrees on the set. But in this case, it was actually fine because the lights and the cameras and the staff are actually supposed to be there. So it made perfect sense for them to be in the shot.
They good, me good, movie. Good!
Okay, that's it for this chapter. Stay tuned next time when I share more memories of making movies Keep Calm and Be a Superstar edition. If you haven't already, I recommend you go out and check this movie either in the theater or through legal streaming services or on DVD or watch it on a plane. Whatever you do, don't steal it. And to be honest, this is not the first of his movies that he's put me in. You may have seen me. And to be honest, this is not the first Vincent Koch directed movie that I've been in. You may see me in All's Well Ends Well 2009 if you don't blink your eyes, because I'm literally in there for about 3 seconds or less. If you watch All's Well Ends Well 2009 and you don't blink your eyes, you may actually see me in that movie as well. And to be honest, this is not the first movie of his that he's put me in. I was actually in this one, All's Well That Ends Well 2009. I always keep it within reach. Note to self, I should definitely make All's Well Ends Well 2009. Note to self, make a 2000... Note to self, time to make memories of making rusty... Note to self, time to make rusty memories of making movies All's Well Ends Well 2009 edition after I finish with this one.